Hey folks, the channel is G for G, the host is Napalm Dawn, the game is Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux, and the topic is effective farming teams for the Star Mastery tiers that you need to hit to progress through the game once Beta 6 drops. So before we get into it, typical disclaimer, Beta 6 is still very much on. I do not have any news on the release date. A couple weeks ago, Goofy released some information that he ran into a little bit of a coding snag when it comes to the tutorial that you have to go through in Beta 6. The tutorial basically is the keys to the kingdom. Once you go through the tutorial, you're sort of given a, like, you remember the ID cards in Doom? Well, it's sort of like getting the yellow ID card in Doom so that you can go through a door to kind of proceed through the rest of the mission. That is why the big reset is happening, is none of the other versions of the game up to this point have that tutorial and provide the game that key that lets you into the rest of the game. That is why everybody's getting a big reset in Beta 6, is that everybody has to go through the tutorial to get that quote-unquote key, aka a piece of code, that tells the game, okay, this agent is ready to go through the missions and do everything properly. Now, with the cheat mode not being available in Beta 6, you have to go through things the proper way, just like how you did back in 2012 when Marvel Avengers Alliance hit Facebook. As always, for the other parts of the disclaimer over here, there is not going to be a mobile version. It's not going to be on any official distribution stores like Steam or GOG or the Epic Store or any other thing that you can imagine here. Remember, this is a fan-produced game. You don't put fan games on official platforms and everything like that. Even though we are protected from licensing issues, it's still not, you're not going to see this on like the Steam Greenlight platform or anything like that. And again, Beta 6 is definitely still on. They're just trying to figure out the bugs that are happening with the tutorial. Don't know when we will see Beta 6 as of yet. So, in the purpose of this video, basically what I'm going to be doing is showing you guys what it is like to try and push through the certain markers that you hit in the game to unlock characters and to unlock spec ops and everything. In order to get into even the very first spec ops, you need to get all the way here into chapter 7 and get it completed. And by completed, I mean at least 1 star. Any items. Once you do that, then you can get into the spec ops. Once you get into the spec ops, certain key things happen that are going to be really, really handy for you. Now, you could immediately go into Spec Ops 1 and get Mockingbird. I can imagine some people maybe want to skip her because they've been doing that in Beta 5.2. They already have her. She's okay, but I mean, you're not going to break the bank for her. What you may want to do is sit in certain spec ops that have really, really good daily spinner rewards. And let me point those out to you. Spec Ops number 5, the Valkyrie Spec Ops. The daily spinner in this particular spec ops is the Roar of the North. You don't even have to step foot in Mission 1, and you may get Roar of the North just by running your spinner every day. And, well, there it is, ironically, coincidentally. If you have the Valkyrie Spec Ops active, you have a chance of getting the Roar of the North in your daily spinner. If you have the gold built up and you see it there and you spin and you don't get it, I would recommend respinning until maybe you do. You will see that there is a note here. By the way, this is the new wiki for the game. This is Avengers Alliance Redux.fandom.com. You will note that there is a note. This gear has the highest base damage yet in the game. I would believe it. Look at this breakdown over here. You are going to nuke single target mobs, even bosses, under certain circumstances if you are running Roar of the North, and I'll show you one of them right now. So this is my AoE farm team on my clean save. I have Movie Iron Man, I have Standard War Machine, I have a Agent kitted out for a massive AoE or a massive single target. I have the sudden support, so in order to get to the sudden support, it appears in the store when you've done a certain amount of research. If you look it up on either the new wiki or the old wiki, you can find out the chain of researches that make sudden support appear in the store for you. When you do get it, definitely buy it. You see here, grants an immediate turn with increased stats. You use that. You retain your turn. Now here I'm using the hotshot, but here is Roar of the North. And then, you know, if you want to do AoE, use the hotshot, boom, you're going to one-shot everything. If it was single target that I needed to work on, like a boss, I would do the sudden support into Roar of the North, and I've got a chance of just about one-shotting every boss in the earlier levels. Good piece of gear. Until you get the Sun support, the other piece of gear that you can use is the Chrono Overdrive. Basically, your goal is to take a very, very powerful gun and make it even more powerful by buffing your stats before you go ahead and use it. Conceivably, you could do some other items that maybe give you strengthened, like maybe you go Thor and have Thor use his level 6 and give you strengthened. That certainly can help, but what I like to do when I farm and I'm trying to go and hit my star tiers over here, I like to use people that have really good team-up bonuses, Thor and Hulk, Iron Man and War Machine, Hawkeye and Black Widow, but not only just good team-up bonuses, the chance to just obliterate everything on the field and make my farming as fast as I possibly can. So I'm getting really close to one more star. Now, the reason why I'm trying to go for these stars over here is you'll see I have some major tasks like this one. This one unlocks in Chapter 7. Recruit 11 heroes, get a 1-star mastery in 175, and have 85 story mastery stars. You can see here I can hit complete, and this will earn me a character, one of the general release characters. I'm not going to do that until the stream on Tuesday so that we can hit that plateau together on stream and see who it is that we unlock. This is how you get the general release characters in Beta 6 when it drops. You have certain heroes that are available through PvP. You will have PvP seasons 1 through 9, and you'll be able to get all of those heroes, and I'll show you them in a moment. And you also have Spec Ops 1 through 11. So you will be able to earn all the way up to Damien Hellstrom, through doing Spec Ops 1 through 11. I'm using Iron Man here and War Machine because they have great AoE. Iron Man can't really AoE down a wave himself, but he puts out Burning, which my Touch of Madripoor really does like. So if we were to look at the Spec Ops, we can get all the way up here to 11. That's Damien. If we were to look at the roster, you will start to see some lockbox characters will start appearing around here. You get some general release ones, you get some PvP ones, lockbox, Spec Ops, all of these guys. Magneto, there's a lockbox there because he, formerly was a villain. Omega, Juggernaut, etc. Constrictor. So you'll be able to earn all the way up to Alexa, of course. Damien is a Spec Ops, Satana is a lockbox, and then these two are, Bishop is PvP, and Elektra is a lockbox. Angel, of course, PvP. infamous season. In order to do the Spec Ops effectively, you need to be able to have certain heroes unlocked so that when you do the mission where you have to fight a epic boss, you have all the characters available that allow you to do all the deploys to fight the epic boss. Because in every Spec Ops, fighting the epic boss, with the exception of the Mockingbird one, is required to get the final character. Spec Ops, the playability of them unlocks in Chapter 7, so you have all the way to Chapter 7 out of 12, where the only thing you can do is PvP and farm the story. This is really, really good because it keeps you narrowly focused. If you were able to start doing Spec Ops, right from the moment you started playing Beta 6, you're actually going to have an unhappy time because you're not going to be able to complete the Spec Ops. You're going to be underleveled, undergeared, and then you won't have the characters open that let you pass through the Spec Ops. So the best thing to do is to farm the story, and I'm kind of showing you some gear here that allows you to get in and out of these battles super quick. If you need really punchy single target, it's there. If you need super powerful AoE, that's here too. You can see Hawkeye, or Gauge Hawkeye's going crazy there. The best farming gear that you can get, I have found, for single target and for AoE, is this. So for AoE, I'm using the Sun Support into the Hotshot. For single target, I'm using Sun Support into Roar of the North. To get the Hotshot, you just activate the Demon Set Spec Ops over here, which is Spec Ops 4. It is on the daily spinner. You just log in every day, look at the spinner. If you see a Hotshot, you try to spin until you get it. Same thing for Roar of the North. It's the Valkyrie Spec Ops. Now, my other save has a gun that is even better than the Hotshot, and is basically the AoE equivalent of Roar of the North. And as some of you might know, if you played the original game and can remember that far back in the game's history, it is the Phoenix Flare. The Phoenix Flare, unfortunately, is harder to get due to the fact that it requires going up to task 20 in Spec Ops number 3. So if you look at the tasks over here, which is Avengers versus X-Men, you have to do some research, you have to do some jet deploys, you research the weaker versions of the weapons. But you have to get all the way here to 20, where you do 3 PvP battles, and then that is when the Phoenix Flare unlocks. A little bit harder to get, however, it is a really, really good piece of gear for doing this kind of instant farming that you see me do over here. And the reason why I'm doing this, like I said, is to just go ahead and get those mastery stars so that I can hit the big milestones. And this one should finally get me another star here. You can see how quick it is to star up from 3 to 4 on mission 1, and you'll notice combat almost always plays out the same way. Widow seems to go first. Wrong thing there. So usually it's like Widow into Viper. Viper goes for Hawkeye most of the time. No, actually went for my age at that time. That's really good. Those extra attacks over there. And boom, Roar of the North, she's out of there. And you can see the whole thing took like 2 or 3 minutes to go through that. Decent for experience. But really what I'm trying to do here is just go through this as quick as possible. Get an extra star. There we go. And you'll see here now 86. So now I'm on my way to the next star limit, which is 105. That is, about 20 stars away at this point. Now it's down to 19. And this is another major unlock. So that's what I'm doing in the clean save. The less clean save has a little bit of different gear and actually doesn't have the sudden support. I haven't done the research chain in my other save that allows the sudden support to appear in the store, but I do have a backup piece of gear called the Chrono Overdrive. It's just about as good, but it is a little bit weaker. Now you're going to see some things on this save that are not going to be in Beta 6, and that is because of the fact that this save had come from a earlier version of the game, Beta 5, and the uniforms weren't restricted. The gear wasn't as restricted. So this is what I'm using for my farm team over on this save. If it's single target, I just use the Unibeam. That is Heartbreaker Iron Man. Again, you're going to see some skins here that you're not going to see in 6. That's because the save got brought up. But here, Chrono Overdrive. I have the Warbringer Axe to buff my stats a bit. I'm running the Mystic to protect me from debuffs because, Pepsi is a tactician. So if an infiltrator is on the field, he gets countered a lot. Heartbreaker, I either do the Melt Armor Laser or the Digger Missile. It's kind of a toss-up as to which one is better. If I see enough if enough enemies are gonna have moves before I can wipe them out, I like to do the Digger Missiles because they might bleed out. And there you go. That's how I farm on this save. Again, the Phoenix Flare is a little bit more complicated to get. You have to go deeper into that spec ops rather than banking on luck, having it be on the daily spinner, making sure you have enough gold to get it. With cheat mode not being enabled, this is one of the best ways to farm stars. You want guys who have good team-ups, you want guys who have good damage, and can basically just get out of combat within a few seconds. And then it makes farming the stars really, really easy. So, that's what I wanted to show you guys here. If you're going to be that type of person that's going to want to put a little bit of effort into not being super casual with your Beta 6 play, and you actually want to commit to getting through the spec ops and getting new characters and all of that, this is some of the best advice that I can provide you guys here. And that is to get gear like the Hot Shot, War of the North, the Phoenix Flare, get really good AoE characters like War Machine. Iron Man, he's not really in for the exact damage he can do. He's in to give a good team-up bonus with Pepsi. Pepsi is the one, aside from my agent, who's really doing all the work in these AoE fights over here. Iron Man helps a little bit if you happen to get the Touch of Madripoor gear out of the Spec Ops where it drops. Anytime anybody is burning, the Touch of Madripoor can add a little bit of an extra punch there. And, it can make it just a little bit quicker. Here, I'm not going to AoE. I'll just hit him with the Warbringer Axe. It's adamantium, so it slices right through defenses pretty well. I discovered, one of the UFOs, how he goes into that mode where he's basically immune to damage and everything does like 1 damage. Yeah, the Warbringer Axe shuts that shit down really, really fast. The Warbringer Axe just absolutely goes right through that. And I think I one-shot him at like 1,500 hit points, and everybody else was just doing 1 damage, and my agent just mauled him with that axe. I don't think the Warbringer axe is going to be in beta 6. When did this? Oh, actually, no, it might. Oh, daily PvP rewards season 6. Okay. Yeah, so you do have a chance of getting the Warbringer axe. So maybe getting into PvP season 6 relatively quickly will also help you out and give you some good farming capable gear over there. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you soon. And hopefully we'll be discussing beta 6 directly really soon here in the near future. Thanks for watching the video, folks.